Hello, it's your boy Norman Gabriel, the world's foremost authority on all things that matter. Today my topic is going to be about the Baltimore Ravens. The beginning of the season is starting this coming Sunday. It actually started last night with the Chicago Bears and the Packers, which the Packers did win that game. I'm going to talk about the Baltimore Ravens. It's going to be a unique offense they're going to have. They're going to run the ball a ton. They're looking for their quarterback, Lamar Jackson, to get more into the passing dynamic than he did last season. And I just want to give you my take on what I think is going to happen and what should happen. I believe it's going to be a ton of misdirection. It's going to be a lot of, motion. There's going to be guys, you're going to hand the ball off from the motion to the guy in motion. He's going to hand it off to running backs. There's going to be a lot of fakes. It's going to be play action for passing, short passes, safe passes, wide open guys. But it's going to be a lot of play action for running, believe it or not. So they're going to fake a run one way, run it another. They may fake it twice. They may fake it to the guy going across in motion. Then they may turn around and fake it again to, a running back, and then Lamar may run it. Or they may fake it, they may have two running backs. They may have it to a tight end. I think Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, the same guy who took Colin Kaepernick and the San Francisco 49ers to the playoffs. I mean, not playoffs, but the Super Bowl against the Ravens, is going to be so creative. Because think about this. Lamar Jackson is similar to Kaepernick in the running aspect of the game, but he's even faster than Kaepernick. Now, Kaepernick had a better arm, probably throwing the ball, very deep, and his accuracy, which he was not the most accurate quarterback. But the biggest knock on Lamar Jackson is his accuracy and his ability to throw. Now, from what he's done in practice, he looks a lot better. But practice means nothing. The real game is everything. But I think they're going to run the ball, and they're going to use him as a decoy running and passing, but definitely running. And they're going to run the ball with Mark Ingram and Gus Edwards and the new little rookie guy. And I think that's going to be the key here. Now, I also think they're going to do a lot of 2 and even 3 tight end sets. Because when you have these 2 and 3 tight end sets in, you have the ability to pass to any of these guys, as well as use these guys as great blockers. Now, you got some speed at receiver, so you want to use those too. But I think on first down, man, they're going to mix it up. They're going to run the ball right at you when you know it's coming, but they're going to mix it up, because if they do that 2 or 3 times in a row where they run on first down and get 4, 5, 6, 7 yards, when they do that play action off of that run, and you have 2 to 3 tight ends in that can all catch the ball, I mean, I think they're going to get some really big plays. And then they're going to do a lot of plays with just 2 tight ends and a receiver or 2 in there as well. So you got some speed burners, and you also got some receivers with some size. I just think they're going to be a dominant team as far as time possession goes, especially for teams that don't have a great run defense. So, believe it or not, I'm expecting the Ravens to probably go 10, 11 games this season and win the division again. I'm not sold on Cleveland at all. A lot of flash and glitz. I got to see that work together first. It's a whole book of tape on Baker Mayfield. And you can say the same for Lamar, especially after that game with San Diego last year. But Baker Mayfield's a traditional quarterback that teams can prepare for. And we've seen him, do really well. But that book of tape on him, they're going to pay any weakness he has. And then he's also a gunslinger. So he's going to try to make that thing happen to Odell and Jarvis Landry and what have you. So I just think they're going to be another 500 team this year, which 500 would actually be the best record those guys have had in years, because they were a game under 500 last year, which is the best season they had in years. Pittsburgh was going to be solid. I mean, Ben does what Ben does. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan, but Ben Roethlisberger does what Ben Roethlisberger does. And what he does is he holds that ball, he pump fakes it, and he helps guys get open. He actually is a big part of that with those pump fakes and the ability and the amount of time that he can hold the ball. Cincinnati should be a non-factor. I just believe they're a non-factor. But the Ravens will run the ball. And then the Ravens have a unique situation. I think this is only the second or third time in history it's happened. They actually play each game this year, one on the road, one at home. One on the road, one at home, all throughout the season. So no multiple games on the road or multiple games at home. So they can really get in a normal pattern all year long of how they do things. This week we're ready to go, this week we're ready to stay. This week we're ready to go, this week we're ready to stay. And, a lot of times you hear football players are creatures of habit. I think that may even play a part in it. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show onto all the apps people like to listen to? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is very simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with the great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading you this ad. Anchor has been pretty much a godsend to me. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no ideas. I didn't know about this world. I just knew I had a message I wanted to get out, and Anchor has allowed me to do just that. So if you always wanted to start your own podcast and make money by doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. Once again, that's go to anchor.fm/start to join me in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. And once again, that is anchor.fm/start. Can't wait to hear your podcast. I think if they keep teams opposing offenses on the sideline, because the Ravens defense is going to be amazing. The corners are going to be amazing. Jimmy Smith and Marlon Humphreys. The safeties are going to be great. Jefferson's going to have a decent season. And then Earl Thomas should just be amazing. If Weddle made the Pro Bowl last year and they had the number one defense last year, Earl Thomas should just be much better. If he can stay healthy, he should actually take the ball away more with his instincts. So the pressure is a little bit iffy. We lost some pressure guys from last year, but I think with that defensive backfield, we should be able to get pressure no matter what. We can scheme whatever we want up front. We can do straight four, but we should be able to buy time because our defensive backfield, and even when we come with our nickel package and dime package, should be able to hold up a little bit longer than the rest of the team's league. Now, the key will be to keep that defense fresh, running the ball, pounding it. I believe Greg Roman has he understands the pulse of the team. He will actually run the ball, establish a rhythm, keep it going. He won't do like last year. Last year, Monty Morningwig would just be off sometimes, man. We'd run the ball 5 times in a row, and out of those 5 runs, we may get 2 to 3 first downs. Then we pass 3 times straight, drop back, no play action pass. Before you know it, 3 and out, which made no sense. You use that momentum, if anything, when you want to pass, for play action, because now you got the safeties and everybody biting up, linebackers and what have you. So you had to use that to your advantage, and I just believe we did not take care of that last year. I believe this year the running game will be so much better, and which was great last year, but the passing off of the run and using the run as a decoy will be much better under Greg Roman than it was under Marty Morningwig. Marty Morningwig has he just gets stuck wanting to pass sometimes. And I believe we'll run even more. We'll mix it up with our running team. We might even have the receivers doing sweeps and misdirection reverses and maybe even tight ends sometime. I think we're going to run from all angles possible. We'll try to keep Lamar healthy. We'll get him out in space with some misdirection stuff and just tell him to get down or get out of bounds. but I think we will pick up yardage, chunk clips all the time, 5 to 10 yard runs on a regular, and we'll get some bigger runs than that as well. But I think that will be a regular scheme. Like, we'll have a lot of 2 down first downs that came via the run. And I think we'll run from all angles. We'll be very creative throughout the season. And I think, like I said, that will allow them to win a lot of games by just keeping the opposing team's offense on the sideline. I think teams won't be able to stop it. You'll have some good teams that will scheme up something and come up with something. But for the most part, they won't be able to stop it. And they're going to have to commit 8 and 9 men in the box. And when they commit these 9 men in the box, we're going to have guys wide open on, play action passes. Now, like I said, I've said this in the past. If in a perfect world, I'd prefer a pocket quarterback. I just believe pocket quarterbacks win Super Bowls, and you need an accurate quarterback, because I hate to see guys wide open that are missed because the quarterback is off target. Especially, just the fact that quarterbacks are multi-millionaires because they throw the ball, and if they're not under duress, you got to be able to make those throws. So hopefully, what we've been seeing in practice, Lamar will be able to do, even if he can't. I mean, we're going to run the ball with such an effectiveness that we'll be able to just lob past the ball to some guys. Literally just chuck it up, lob it, put some air in there so guys can get under it, hold up, wait for it, because they're going to be that wide open. That's how severe the running attack is going to be, I believe. I believe we're going to really rough shot a lot of guys. I think it's going to start this week with Miami. I think we may have a lot of 200-yard games in total between all of our running backs, receivers that run the ball, as well as Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar Jackson averaged about 60 yards per game on about 7 to 10 carries per game. And I think some of those are going to be planned, maybe 2 to 3 per game. But you're going to have some improvisers when he does the play action pass. The guy's not where he wants it to be. He'll be able to take off and get 10 yards. I think he's going to have a high per carry average, one of the highest in the league. And I just think it's going to be wonderful. I mean, I think if you're going to commit to stopping Lamar, you're going to give these guys some open lanes running the ball. If the guys are standing there waiting to see what Lamar's doing when he fakes a run option or what have you, I mean, you're going to have Ingram and Gus Edwards just sniping right through. So I'm anxious to see this weekend. Let me know what you guys think. I got a new email for you guys to contact me if you like. Email is going to be ngoftheworld@gmail.com. So that's ngoftheworld@gmail.com. Feel free to email me anytime. We'll be coming to you quite often now. The football season's back on. It's a few boxing events I'm going to definitely get to. I'll even talk some basketball with you guys as well. The sports thing is up and going again, so I'll be reaching out very often and very frequent with you guys. So once again, it's Norman Gabriel, world's foremost authority on all things that matter. Usually just a guy riding around in his vehicle talking about sports. Until next time, peace. My correct email is ngoftheworld@gmail.com. 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 ng of the world.